Hello friends, it's Stephanie from Behind the Designs, and today I am coming on to do a page in my Classic Happy Planner, and it's long overdue just like most things, but again, still sick, so hopefully you can hear me, and again, I'll edit out if I have to cough. So I have a page I'm going to do. We are, as you know, into spring already, and I'm a little overdue in getting some of the, cleaning and decluttering kind of things done. And so, we've kind of shifted in our household with my daughter, moving on, getting her own place. And so, there's been a lot of changes within the home. So I need to get this done so that I can start checking off all the cleaning and things that I've been needing to do and have already done. So I have with me my guillotine cutter and the Happy Planner punch, a couple pens, and then of course my classic Happy Planner. So just to show you, I am, if I lose my voice, I'll also stop the video. Okay. I had to put one page off to the side because that's the one we're going to work on. So I have done spring cleaning pages always in the past. There is something about spring that, it's just shaking off the dust of the winter and, all things are starting to bloom and grow. Minus a day ago when we had snow. Yeah, I woke up and the ground was just covered with snow. But today it's cleared, it's sunny out, and I'm back into my spring vibe again. So spring is the perfect time for me anyway, because cleaning and decluttering, I typically start in the new year, but then come spring, like I just get into that deep clean of things. It is just necessary. So in the past, I've done, of course, this page was, if you maybe can tell, there is these little bullet points here. This was actually a page from, I think it was the Stargazer Happy Planner. And I used, of course, colorful boxes. I love those stickers, some alpha letters and so forth. I did do, I think I did it double-sided because, I like to micro clean every little like room or space. And so you can see I have, basement, living room, powder room, laundry, garage. But on the back, I didn't fill it in and I don't know why. Let me turn it over. So this was, even though these were done, for some reason, I think I just did them and forgot to write them in. But as you can see, I have every little room itemized. So all I did was I took a task list from the monthly layout of the Stargazer and I just kind of decorated it up. Everyone has a different, like way that they might want to do spring cleaning, but you can do a sticker page. You can do, something that you've hand drawn or written or, what have you. You could do printables. You can do, just about anything. The goal is just to get everything listed out that you want to do. I mean, micro listed, like this, wash curtains, things like that. Like just really drill down what it is you want to do. And then by having it in your planner, you are staying organized, which is key. And then you can just check off everything that you've done. So this one was from 2020, which is, COVID year. And so again, it was done because, absolutely it was done because we were all home for a period of time. So it did get done. I just didn't check it off. But it did kind of keep me on target for, micromanaging. Like even this, okay, vacuum cobwebs. Let me talk about that. So, the corners of your rooms or ceiling fans or something might get, cobwebs on it. I don't wait to like do them all at once. So like when I put this here, it was more about take a look around. Is there any I missed? Because what I do, the best way for me, what I do is I kind of daily clean. So I will go through, if I pass something that either had to get done, needs to be cleared, I'll do it. I don't wait for like this one day to do it. Um, Everyone has a different vibe about spring cleaning. Some people see it as a task. Me, I've always accepted it and embraced it, really. It's very therapeutic. And so, I've always just kind of looked at cleaning as really a mental break because you can just really just get into it. And for me, when I start, sometimes I can't stop. So, however it works for you to set up a spring cleaning checklist or tracker, do what works for you, absolutely. So, here I am again. Talk, talk, talk. It's what I do. All right, so this is one method where you can just, again, you could take a piece of paper and just literally list out whatever works for you. I did it by room so that I could stay focused. And then, so that was 2020. And then in 2023, I did this spring cleaning DIY page on YouTube. Come to think of it, these were not colorful boxes. They were Live, Love, Posh boxes. But I went ahead and I sketched out the house. I did the little vines. I added in some stickers. And then, literally just went through again. I still do it by room, except this time I categorized it by topic. So, there's more than one bedroom. So, I just put all the bedrooms in one box, all the bathrooms in one box, that type of thing. So this one was a really fun one to work with. And I still have the backside should I want to use it. Okay, so enough about my past spring cleanings. And there is a third one. I couldn't find it. It was actually in a traveler's notebook. And I'll look for it. And then these are going to go up on the blog. So if you want to see that other one in a traveler's notebook, be sure to check out the blog in the coming days because I will be putting these up there. And you can see how I, kind of decorated that one. So there's my past ones. Let's put those aside. I have a sticker sticking up and it keeps grabbing. So when I spring clean in conjunction, if I can turn this. Oh my gosh, this is not working. So as you know, these are not Happy Planner discs. So this, the cover does not go smoothly over them. All right, so in conjunction with my spring cleaning, I always use my January declutter checklist. I start this usually about mid-December, and it kind of goes very strongly through January, and then I don't actually look at it, but I'm doing it throughout the year. So I'm very big on decluttering. So I use it in conjunction with this. Now, what I'm doing today is, let me get these out of the way if I can, because I'm going to show you what I'm using for 2024 or 2025 spring, and then we'll kind of fill it in a bit. So let's see if I can't find some room here. Let's see. Let's see if I could get this in over here. All right. So now available on the blog in the shop is this spring cleaning checklist. So it is what I'll be using in conjunction with the January declutter checklist. So this will go in my planner and we're going to cut it down, punch it. I'm going to get some of this filled in. But I am super excited. I love the color on it. And while I'm doing this, so I'm going to try and move everything aside. So if you purchase a printable from my shop, I want to show you how I cut them down. So with each of the files, you get a file with trim marks, which you'll see marks in each corner, and then a file without trim marks so that you can kind of measure it to, the planner you want to put it in. It is a standard size sheet of paper. So when you are printing out for Happy Planner, I only know this because I work in Happy Planner. But if you're cutting it for a classic or printing for a classic, I printed at 85%. You should test your own printer, maybe in black and white first before you actually print it in color or what have you. But I do 85% for my classic, and then I'm going to show you how I cut it down. I know a lot of people sometimes struggle with how to cut it, how to cut printables. They cut it too much on one side or the other. So here's how it works. So it may go out of focus when I lift this up, just so you know. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to cut from, let me see if I can get this closer. Okay, so see these marks here? I'm going to cut along this mark. And yes, it's going to remove the mark that goes this way, but you'll see it works. So we're going to go down this way first. All right. Okay. Let me put that down because, again, I think it refocuses. Then what I do is I turn the header towards the blade, and we're going to cut, again, it's got the two markings. This one goes this way. This one is for this way. We're now going to cut this line. All right, so now we're halfway there. I forget it keeps focusing. So now that we have this side done and this side, now what I do, and everyone has a different method. Right now I have Post-it notes marking measurements for me at the moment. So this is the best way for me to work it. I'll eventually mark onto the swing line guillotine, but until then, I just use Post-its. So then what I do is I take, it does not slide along here easily. So let me just show you. So we did this, we did this. Now we're going to do down this side. So now this is where I'm going to use the Post-its, because now I'm measuring to a classic Happy Planner size page. So my Post-it is set up so that I cut to this edge here. And so I'm just going to line it up. And let me show you. So when I cut this off, you can see how much distance there was to the trim marks. So that's why I say cut two sides and then use the measurement on your, whether you're using a guillotine or a slide cutter, measure to something you've marked already to an actual Happy Planner classic size page, because you can see how much space is left over. And if I cut it to exactly all those trim marks, it would not have come out right. And then, as you can tell, there's now no trim marks on either side of the bottom. All I'm going to do is I have my second mark over here that tells me where to mark for the length of the page. So that is to this edge. And now we have a Happy Planner classic size page. So let's go ahead and let me get this out of the way. All right, and then let's get these out of the way. So we now have a sized Happy Planner classic page. So now all I'm going to do is bring over my punch, and I am going to put it in the proper spot. And voila, perfectly punched. Okay. So it's going to now go, since January is over, so this stays in the front of my planner. January is over, so this, when I'm finished, will go right on top, because now I'm working on spring cleaning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill some of this in, and then I'm going to let me talk first about the various ways you can use this. So this has for each, so there's a daily, weekly, and monthly. There's a section for room, or a column for room. So you could list the room, you can abbreviate LR for living room, however you wish. Then you have the to-do that you're going to do. And then for daily, you have a daily, weekly schedule. For weekly, you have I gave you 5 weeks because sometimes it filters over into like a half a week or a couple days in a 5th week. And then monthly to-dos. Now, you'll notice this is only March through June. So March and June kind of are halves. So halfway through March, spring starts, halfway through June, spring ends. But I gave you all 4 months in case you want to carry it in, start earlier, end later, however you wish. Notes, you can use this section for, maybe listing out the cleaning supplies you need or additional spaces or things that you want to remember to do that maybe you didn't have enough room here, or, it's open for you to use it however you like. Now, before I tell you other ways to use it, I need to fill in some of this. So let me go through and fill some of this in. I will fast forward this part, and then I'll kind of talk a little bit more about the ways you can, lightly modify this if you wanted to. So let me get started. Okay, so here we go. I've listed all the things for daily, weekly, and monthly that I like to do. So, this is kind of, I would say, fluid, meaning I wrote it down, and let me think which one it was. I'm not finding which one it was now. My point is that there's some things that fall under, either the daily, weekly, or monthly that I kind of do more frequently, but this is kind of at minimum, these are the things I want to do at these times. So here's your sheet. How can you change it? How can you enhance it? One thing you can do is, let me just use the pink as an example. Let me get out a, okay. So here's the thing with like customizing it. I do have here a section or a column for room if you choose to use it. I didn't write in that area, but you could. One way you can customize it is you could use, again, I just use a Jelly Roll 10. You could use this and you can white out room on each of them. And then what you can do to give yourself maybe more writing space, if you want more writing space, is you just use the same Jelly Roll pen and you just go down the line. Don't take out the line that goes this way, but you're just going to kind of white out the line. So that will allow you to get more space to write in per line if you don't want to track by room. So that's one way you can customize this. The other way is you can use, okay, you have your box. So let's see. I like to use, let me get a color. I'm going to stick with pink and pink. One thing you can do so that you kind of have really that visual, if you're a planner, you do love to check things off. You do love to cross them out when they're done, that type of thing. So what you can do is for each section, there's a color to it. So like daily is pink, weekly is kind of like a teal color, and then monthly is like a light pink. So what you could do is you could take a colored pen, and as you do something, you can check mark that box. You can check mark it, you could put an X in it showing you've done it, whatever day you've done it. That's one way, using a colored pen. So there's 2 customizations you can use. Let's see how many I can come up with. So you can make your lines longer. You can use a colored pen to do your checks or X's, or you can take a zig dotter, and you can use the zig dotter even though this is the smallest, it's just enough room for you to dot it. So you can use this to put dots in the ones you've done, or you can use this to just highlight that box and then take a black marker or black pen and check it off or exit, whichever works for you. So that's 2 more. So now we've got 1, 2, 4. So 4 customizations. You can, over here, same thing. You can take your colored marker or colored pen, either one or both, depends on how you want to use it, and you can use that to write over here. You can make bullet points, write. You could use the zig dotter. You can use the sticker dots from like the bullet points from Happy Planner to do a list in. You could again, it could be a shopping list. It could be your list for deep cleaning. Anything you want. This area is open. That's why it just says notes. You can do whatever you'd like on it. And so, there are some of just the multitude of ways that you can customize this. This is available right now on the blog in the shop. It's $3. So at the moment, it is a very reasonable cost. Super easy to print off. You can print it in black and white if you want, and then just these colored areas will just be gray, like a very light gray. Or you could print it in color and, just kind of get that real spring vibe going. Another thing you can do down here, if you wanted to for fun, you could use colored markers, pens, pencils, colored pencils, and kind of color these in if you want to have a little bit of adult coloring time. So as you can see, there's really a multitude of ways of use it, I should say, to use this printable. The other thing you can do is double-sided. So you can print this side spring. You can also print the back side as spring if you want to expand. So maybe the front side is, these are the things that I'm going to do in these time frames. But then on the back, when you have them for daily, weekly, and monthly, you can use that for that deep clean. So, when I mean deep clean, I mean remove the blinds from the window, dust all around the window, wash the window, wipe down the blinds, and then vacuum the part that connects to the window, the wood in the window, vacuum that inside because that collects dust too. I mean, that's to me like a deep clean. So, that's what you can maybe use on the back side. So you can print it however you like. And that's the beauty of it. Since it's a printable and you download it, you can print it whenever you want. You could also, if you really wanted to, you could use, whiteout tape. You can put a sticker over this. You can white it out and then put a sticker. You can decorate with some washi. You can put in your own header, however you want. I mean, it's super easy to customize it. So there you go. There is all of the things. And now it's going to go in my planner. Now, here's the thing. I haven't quite decided if I want to do like a dot, a color dot, or if I just want to do just a good old fashioned, let's go good old fashioned. So if I were going to do, I mean, we're already on what, Thursday? Daily to do is going to be X'd off almost all the time. So let me go to, so we're in what, week 3, I think? Week 3. So let's see. That's on Sunday. I'm looking to see, laundry's always. Let's do week 2. So on week 2, vacuumed, washed cat bowls, laundry, toilets, and showers. Okay, let me talk about this right here. I put in the weekly to-dos, declutter each room, and then I put an arrow. So while this is going to be sitting here technically, the arrow was to signify to look to this list. As you can see, I've already checked some off. I've used a different color ink just so that I can distinguish between the ink that I printed it with. So I've gone through and I've checked some things off. And so by this weekly, and this was the one actually, now that I remember, declutter was the one where I kind of do it on a daily basis. Again, if I see something, oh, right, I wanted to get rid of that sweater, I pull it out. So declutter each room meant to go to this and then use this by room to go through and do the things that aren't done. So in the kitchen, containers without lids, you know, that type of thing. So that is how I'm using this. And I do love the idea of doing the stickers. But I just wanted to create something that was a little bit more bright and sunny. I'm going to take those out because those are going to get archived. And so now I have, let me do this so you're not getting the glare. You're still getting the glare. These lights are like, they kill me. So, you know, I just wanted something a little more bright, something a little bit more in line with my planner. And even if I change my, you know, planner cover, you know, the discs or whatever, I still love to have this in here because I do love to check things off. I do love to see these things. I love to, it's almost like what is it, bingo, I guess, in a way, you know, where I love seeing all the blocks X'd off. So I always look forward to doing that. I used to love crossing everything off. When I was younger, I would just love to just cross it off and get it out of there. Now I like to see these marks over here. So this is, long story short, my spring cleaning checklist. It's available now. And I am going to probably get to some of these this week because I have a few things I need to finish. And then, of course, my monthly to-dos are coming up. And I may have even done some of them, so I got to go through and look. So there you go. I have showed you numerous ways you can do spring cleaning trackers. And in the end, what I've done is I've just created one that I can use a little more frequently. I can print it whenever I need it. And I love how it turned out. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me on this sunny today. And I hope it's sunny where you are on this happy spring sunny day. And if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon. And that's it for today.